Is America losing its edge? For decades, the US has been a global powerhouse, but cracks are starting to show. This video uncovers the truth about America's diminishing competitive standing and challenges our very idea of national power. Can we fix it before it's too late? Before we dive in, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because what you're about to hear is not the story mainstream media tells, but it's the story shaping the next 50 years. Chapter 1. The moment America realized it was no longer alone. For a long time, the United States didn't really stress about competition. After crushing it in the 20th century with economic wins, tech breakthroughs, and cultural influence, America thought it had leadership on lock. But here's the kicker. Global leadership isn't a one-and-done deal. It needs to be renewed and rebuilt. Slowly, signs popped up that America wasn't keeping pace like it used to. Production started to lag while other nations sped ahead. Infrastructure fell behind and students struggled in math and science just as other countries poured resources into STEM. Innovations that once came from American labs started popping up overseas. It wasn't a sudden crash but a slow drift that many didn't even notice until it was too late. This was America's wake-up call, realizing it wasn't the only player in the game anymore. Chapter 2. China, the competitor, America never expected. No country has changed how America sees competition quite like China. What started as low-cost manufacturing has turned into something much bigger. China didn't just become a factory, it's now a powerhouse in technology, industry, and infrastructure. Its manufacturing scene has transformed into a super-efficient machine, cranking out advanced electronics and cutting-edge tech at a speed that blows American businesses away. Factories that used to lag behind now run with automation and robotics, and many CEOs call it unimaginable. Cities are popping up with futuristic skylines faster than the US can approve construction projects. China's EV industry, AI breakthroughs, and battery supply dominance have surged so quickly that America struggled to keep up. Once seen as just a low-cost producer, China is now the benchmark for American companies. Not because America got weaker, but because China leveled up fast. Chapter 3. Innovation, America's gift and its growing blind spot. Innovation has always been America's superpower. Silicon Valley still attracts the world's brightest minds. Research labs still push boundaries in quantum computing, biotech, and aerospace, and American entrepreneurs still dominate global culture. But innovation is fragile. It needs risk, experimentation, and a willingness to break things in pursuit of progress. Somewhere along the way, risk turned into caution. Instead of hardware revolutions, Silicon Valley became obsessed with apps. Instead of pushing the boundaries of manufacturing, America outsourced it. Instead of building the next generation of physical technologies, many companies focused on incremental improvements to software that offered quick profits but minimal long-term advantage. Regulations slowed experimentation. Corporations focused more on protecting their market share than creating the next major breakthrough. Economic incentives rewarded safety over ambition. Innovation culture didn't disappear, but it dulled around the edges, just enough for faster, hungrier nations to catch up. Chapter 4. Manufacturing, the lost muscle of American power. There was a time when the heartbeat of American power was found not in boardrooms or stock markets, but in the roar of factories. Steel mills shaped skylines. Automobile plants built symbols of American pride. Assembly lines were engines of national strength. But the rise of globalization shifted this reality. Factories closed, jobs moved overseas, and America gradually traded manufacturing dominance for a service-based economy. For years, this seemed fine, until America realized something painful. You cannot lead the world if you cannot build what you invent. A nation that relies heavily on foreign production becomes dependent, slow to scale, and vulnerable to supply chain disruptions. And as American factories faded, other nations built ecosystems that could design, prototype, and mass-produce advanced technologies in record time. America still had the ideas, but others had the ability to build them. Today, efforts to rebuild the industrial base have begun, but the world is already deep into the next wave of manufacturing. Time is not on America's side. Chapter 5. Infrastructure, the American slowdown. A country's infrastructure reveals its priorities. In America, roads crumble, airports lag behind, bridges age dangerously, and high-speed rail is still a dream rather than a reality. Projects take years just to pass regulatory review, while other nations build entire districts in the time America spends debating paperwork. While global competitors construct ultra-modern ports, efficient transit systems, and new cities, America struggles to maintain the ones it already has. Infrastructure doesn't create headlines, but it quietly dictates a country's economic performance. Slow movement means slow progress, and America's aging infrastructure has become a bottleneck for growth that the country can no longer afford to ignore. Chapter 6. The talent problem no one wants to talk about. Behind every strong nation lies a strong workforce, but America's talent pipeline is showing cracks. Science and math scores are falling, skilled trades face shortages, college debt discourages students from entering engineering fields, and while other nations pour resources into STEM education, America's system struggles with inequality, outdated curricula, and rising costs. The country is saved, at least for now, by its ability to attract the world's smartest minds. But this advantage depends on immigration, not the strength of domestic education. If America had to rely solely on its internal talent development, the technological gap would be far more noticeable. The world's new power race is not about armies, it's about brains. And America cannot remain competitive if it doesn't invest in the people who will build its future. Chapter 7. The New Battlegrounds. EVs, AI, robotics, and the energy future. The next 50 years will be shaped by a small set of transformative technologies, and America is fighting to keep its position in each of them. China dominates EV production and battery supply chains. Asian countries are advancing rapidly in robotics and industrial automation. AI is split between American research leadership and China's unmatched real-world deployment. Semiconductors, which the US invented, have drifted overseas, leaving America dependent on foreign manufacturing for the tech that powers everything from smartphones to satellites. America is still deeply competitive, but competition now means sprinting against nations that are not only fast but coordinated, ambitious, and unified in their technological vision. America's strength remains in breakthroughs. Others excel in rapid execution. The question is which advantage will matter more as the world races toward an AI-driven future. Chapter 8. Can America still compete? This is the question sitting at the heart of our story. The answer is neither simple nor pessimistic. America is not collapsing. It is not disappearing. It is not being replaced. The country still holds unparalleled strengths: creativity, open debate, powerful universities, world-class tech giants, and a culture that encourages individuals to dream beyond their limitations. But the world has changed. The race is no longer America against itself. Competitors have risen. The playing field has shifted, and the US must evolve if it wants to lead the next century. Rebuilding manufacturing, modernizing infrastructure, and investing in education are no longer optional. They're essential. America can compete, but only if it decides to. Chapter 9. A future defined by many powers, not one. The era of one global superpower controlling everything is ending. The future belongs to multiple nations climbing upward together: America, China, India, the European Union, and emerging powers across Africa and Southeast Asia. This is not America's decline, but the world's rise. A rising world means a more competitive world, and competition, historically, is what pushes nations to innovate, experiment, and break through their limits. America's challenge is not that it has lost power, it's that others have gained theirs. This is not a threat, it's an invitation to evolve. Conclusion. So, can America still compete? Yes, but only by rediscovering the qualities that once made it unstoppable. The hunger to innovate, the willingness to take risks, and the ambition to build what others considered impossible. If the US can reignite that fire, then the next century will not be defined by America's decline, but by America's reinvention. But reinvention is not automatic. It must be fought for. It must be earned. If this deep dive opened your eyes to how global power is shifting, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit the notification icon. We explore the world's biggest transformations, the rise of new powers, and the hidden forces shaping our future. Thanks for watching.